Welcome back to the Tiger. Hey, this is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about the MechFansToys VS-04. They call this the Inspiration Bat, and it's their take on Mindwipe. Now, this is a very G1 inspired figure. It is a Legend scale figure. It's on the plus side. It's a little bit larger, but I think they did a good job with it. I think it looks good. It's simplistic, and it does what you need. I got this at Show Z. I have a link down below where you can get yours. Let's talk about this guy coming up. Let's take a look at this box. It is very retro inspired, and I like the way they do the packaging. It looks, with this purple background and this checkerboard kind of thing going on, it looks great. I love the look of it, the top of it. We've got some sort of sticker for routing stuff around. Got some, looking right here, like all of the stuff that they've done and probably what they're going to do, all the different headmasters in the art. I think it looks really good. On the back, you can kind of see all of the different forms and what it can do and some articulation. It really looks like these things, you know, I wonder why put so much work into some packaging of something that you're going to order off the internet anyway, off of pictures. Probably because these are in stores in other countries. So zooming in on this super microscopic headmaster, it looks good. It is super tiny, and when I say super tiny, it's what it is next to. That is a Legends class figure, Optimus Prime's foot it's next to. And it has paint apps on the eyes, and this is, everything is so exaggerated because it's, I got the camera ridiculously zoomed in, but so much detail in such a small figure, and I got it standing there. And the paint, I'm surprised they had the little bit of paint that it does. Looking at the back, you just see the face on it. That's generally kind of how it goes. Transforming this guy is the same as every other headmaster, more or less. Fold it in half and fold that in. There's his head. Let's put it on top. Now again, having this thing flattened out, you've got to put this in, plug it in like so, and you have tech specs. But see, the difference between the tech specs kind of thing, well, I don't even know what is it called tech specs on the chest, but it's pre-printed. But I'm glad they still did it because that is a nice homage to G1, and G1 lovers love that. So let's take a good look at this guy. He does look very G1 inspired. I do like the way he looks. His colors are a little bit lighter than I would think for a G1 version, but I can live with it. It looks great. And looking at the head sculpt, the head looks good too. Now, this is one of those things with these headmasters that they're making. And let's get it zoomed in, clear up there. I like that metallic paint on the eyes and the face. Has carries over that same metallic throughout a couple of other spots on him. And the black, and then it's supposed to be purple, but it looks kind of pink. But it's like a light purple. But that itself, it's just the plastic color. It's not paint, and I don't even think that the feet are painted. Although they kind of have a metallic speck to them. They're not painted. It is pretty clean, even on the back. Now this is weird how they did the feet for the bat mode, that they kind of collapse together as a tail in a way. But it is pretty cool. It does look good. I like the way it looks, and as an original design, and they're not like knocking off another design. I don't think they're knocking it off, but I think they did a pretty good job, and I really hope they do more. Looking at the articulation on this guy, the head goes side to side. There's no real up and down, and then the shoulder goes out about that much. Not a whole lot of outer range. Of course, you could do the 360 if you didn't have the wings in the way. You do have some bicep swivel. You have 90 at the elbow, and you have nothing at the hand. And then waist swivel, 90 with the foot coming out, 90 front, only a partial to the back. And then you do have the thigh swivel, you have the 90 at the knee, and then you have like a ball joint, a really tight ball joint at the foot to get whatever you want out of that foot. And so that really does work for it. You get all the articulation you would need out of a Legends figure, and these Legends figures, I think they're doing a good job. He does come with these two guns, and they are exactly the same. They look great. That works. They just slide into his hands, And I don't know what you would call the millimeter port, but I don't think it's a 5mm port because it's so small. But as big as this guy is, he is a little bit bigger. So size comparison and aesthetic to the Masterpiece version. This is the VS-04 version. They call it Dracula. And looking at them, they look very similar in design. I mean, there's really not much. The G1 version of this figure, I think, was a great figure. And so they all really do copy the G1 very well. But I do feel like this is too light of a plastic. I wish this was a darker purple. That's just my personal preference. I mean, they're matching the tune, but I think my preference is the toy, which is very few characters that I prefer the toy colors. But anyway, this is more tune. This is a little too light in my opinion. But I mean, we're comparing a $130 figure. I think he was, what, $110 for a while, to a $30 figure. So there's a $100 price difference. It's really not fair, but I think it holds its own. Here he is next to a few other MechFansToys offerings, and we got a headmaster with them. And then this Astrotrain is their own design, looks really good. And I think this was a really close to their own design. Like I think they did copy a few things from the Indie Toys, but it was so different. But looking at that looks pretty good. It's a nice little team there. I do want to say that he is bigger than their KO upscale version of the DX9 Starscream. And they do both have these kind of wings protruding out, so it's a similar aesthetic and a similar silhouette in a way, but he is bigger, and I'm okay with that. I just feel like all of the movie characters and all of the headmasters are just bigger than what we got with the average figure in the original G1 and the Series 1 and 2 and the Season 1 and 2. And I still feel okay with this. Now this is Magic Square, and this is New Age, and New Age is starting to make their figures a little bit bigger. They used to be microscopically tiny, but this looks good to me. I'm okay with him being a bit bigger. Some people might have a problem with it. If you have a problem with it, then maybe you won't want this figure. But then again, I could see this figure being huge. And there's the new Magic Square Soundwave, just for fun. Now it's time to get this figure transformed out. Let's pop off his guns here, which is something that we need to do. We're gonna take his head off. Oh, and while we take the head off, we'll look at that just a bit later. And first thing we're gonna wanna do is pull out this head. So we open up this back piece, and here's his head. Now the head goes in at a strange angle, simply because it just doesn't fit if you just put it in just straight up. You'll notice that there's a tab right here that will tab into that, and there we go. Next thing you want to do is mess around with these feet here, and so we're going to flip the legs backwards, which is kind of a strange thing. Let's get all that on camera. Flip it backwards. Then we also need to put the feet inside. Put both feet, you just pull back on the foot and then fold it in and close it in. And then lift it up, and this tab is going to tab into here. There's a hole for it to tab into. Let's see this like this. There's the hole. It's not showing up. There's the hole, there's the tab, and it tabs right in. Like that. We can flip the head around, and then we pretty much have everything in place for the feet, ready to go with this guy. Now we need to do something with these arms. So the arms themselves and the wings are on this mechanism that's going to fold down. And then we have to fold away the hands, like so. And then we're going to turn this to where it folds kind of to the inside. So it kind of looks like he still has the arms. It's kind of strange. We're also going to fold out these wings and make them full, flip them all around and make a full wing out of the situation here. And we've got that. So do the same thing over here, fold this down, put the hand away. Come on, hand. Well, it's just not opening up. All right, put the hand away. That was way harder than it should have been. And then fold it in like so. And then we need to fold the wing out and spread it out. Looking at there it goes. So according to the instructions and the back of the box right here, it shows these shoulder pieces are sort of tilted, but you can display it however you want. Now, I kind of think that you could do straight, and for me, man, that looks pretty good if you do it straight. And when you do the transformation, it almost feels like, why are they not straight? Why did they do it like that? But we're gonna go ahead and leave it the way it's supposed to be for the remainder of this. So looking at Mindwipe or Inspiration Bat in his bat mode, first thing I want to say is he feels a little bit like back heavy. So if you just kind of fold him forward a little bit, he'll stand a lot better. But he looks good all the way around. And maybe I'm a little just partial because I like the character. It's one of those weird things that if you like a character, maybe you like a figure a little bit more than maybe the average person would. But it does look good to me. I think he's a great looking figure. And let's get a little bit closer look in at this face of his. Now that is a nice bat. My wife always says she doesn't like bats because she thinks they're like rats with wings. And it's a strange thing that she likes to tell me all of the time. We do have an opening mouth, which I think is really cool. And it's kind of strange at the same time. Also, if you want to open this up and for whatever reason toss the head in there, you can keep the head stored in there. That's something you can do if you like. Now, looking at we have some silver here, which is still from the robot mode. I guess I didn't point it out in robot mode, but it carries over. And then you got the little feet right there. And there is some articulation in those feet, which is going to help you. You have our articulation ball joint, and it helps you to get the stability because he is a bit back heavy. Looking at him from the side, he is a bit thick, and looking at him from the back, that's what he's supposed to look like. And I do like these wings because there's so many options. You can do so much with these wings if you want to. Now, it does include a piece for a flight stand that would plug into right here. And I don't know exactly what flight stand that's supposed to go to because it doesn't work with any of my flight stands. So and I have a ridiculous amount of MechFansToys stuff, but I don't have a flight stand that matches that for whatever reason. So maybe I've got like early MechFansToys and I missed the 1 or 2 releases most recently. But anyway, looking at it, it's good. So for comparison, I mean, it really doesn't make sense to compare it to anything in alt mode. So just there he is next to some bots. You got a magic square and a magic square, and a little magic square here, a little magic square there, lots of magic square. So this has been the MechFansToys version of Mindwipe, and I think they did a really good job with this figure. The figure looks good. He is very posable. You definitely know it's Mindwipe. I think it's one of their original molds because I can't find anything that they copied. For the price, for 30 bucks, with Legends figures starting to cost $70 now, it blows your mind that they still keep this price point down in the sub $30 category. Plus it's bigger than those other ones. The transformation is simplistic. My negatives on it is the downside of the color. I thought it was just a little bit too light, but then again, it might be more tuned than I actually remember. And then the other part of this is I didn't talk about it, but I didn't find weapon storage in bat mode, and I personally don't care, but some people do. Aside from that, I would pick this up if you're looking to get Headmasters and you're looking into the Legends. I don't see anybody else right now tackling Headmasters and Legends unless you want to go back and get Unique Toys and DX9 and all that stuff. But anyway, let me know what you think about this figure. Like, subscribe, and check out your hanger out.